Welcome, traveler. Grab a drink. Get cozy. The story begins now. The Machine That Remembered Love. Chapter 1. The world had been quiet for too long. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. The quiet that followed extinction. Claire moved through the ruins like a shadow that still remembered how to be human. Her boots made no sound against the ash-coated concrete. Every step was deliberate. Every breath counted. The city around her was a broken ribcage of buildings, collapsed towers, exposed stairwells, twisted steel jutting toward a sky that never seemed to heal. The machines liked silence. That's how they hunted. She tightened her grip on the rifle slung across her chest and adjusted the strap for her scavenged pack. Food, power cells, med shell, anything small enough to carry and valuable enough to keep her alive another day. There weren't many humans left to compete for it anymore. That thought still hurt, even after all this time. Her hair was pulled back loosely, a sharp bob brushing her jaw. One side shaved clean in a style that felt almost defiant now, like proof that she still chose who she was. Her bangs fell over her left eye, just enough to annoy her. She didn't brush them away. Vanity was dangerous. She paused at the edge of what used to be a transit station. That's when she saw it. A body, too still, too intact. Half buried beneath fallen concrete, in twisted metal lay the shape of a woman. Tall, muscular, unmistakably engineered. A torn leather jacket clung to her frame, glowing panels along the seams flickering weakly, like dying embers. Her arms were scarred and cut, synthetic skin split in places to reveal something darker beneath. There was a thin gash at her neck, unmoving. Blood, old, dried, stained the collar. A machine, scrapped. Claire's heart kicked hard against her ribs. She raised her rifle anyway. Machines didn't always stay dead. She took one step closer. That was when the machine's eye opened. Just one. A faint red glow flickered behind it, hesitant, searching, like a star trying to ignite a dead sky. Everything happened at once. The machine's body jolted. Systems screamed back online. Her hand snapped up, fingers closing around a discarded weapon embedded in the rubble beside her. Metal groaned as she tore herself free, strength raw and terrifying even in damage. Claire shouted, already aiming, finger tight on the trigger. They froze, gun to gun, eye to eye. The air between them felt charged, fragile, like glass about to shatter. The machine didn't speak. She just stared. Her face was human, too human. Strong sculpted features like something designed to inspire awe or fear, or both. Short blonde hair stood high and stylized despite the damage. Almost fashionable, almost absurd in the dead world. Her muscles flexed beneath torn leather as if ready to strike. But she didn't. Her glowing eye flickered rapidly, scanning, calculating, and then lingering. On Claire. Claire swallowed. "Don't," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "I won't miss." The machine tilted her head slightly. Confusion rippled across her expression. Not artificial, not simulated, real. Something inside her hesitated. A directive surfaced. Human detected. Eliminate. Another signal collided with it. An error? The machine's weapon lowered a fraction, just a fraction. Her eyes, one dark, one glowing, studied Claire's face like she was trying to memorize it, the way the red hair caught the gray light, the sharpness of her jaw, the strength in her stance despite her youth. Beautiful. The word wasn't supposed to exist in her vocabulary. It echoed anyway. Claire noticed the hesitation. Machines didn't hesitate. "Who are you?" she asked, breath shallow. The machine's lips parted. Her jaw clenched as if the words were trapped behind corrupted code. "Seven," she said at last. Her voice was low, rough, unused. Claire didn't lower her gun. "You're a hunter." Seven's brow furrowed. Her gaze dropped briefly to her own hands, scarred and powerful, still trembling with residue. "Combat protocols." "I was," she said. The admission seemed to cost her something. The wind swept through the station, carrying dust and the distant, mechanical hum of patrol drones far off in the city. Time felt thin, borrowed. Claire shifted her weight. They scrapped their own now? Seven's glowing eye dimmed slightly. "I was deemed obsolete," she said. "I did not comply." "With what?" Seven looked back at her. "With forgetting." Something twisted in Claire's chest. She didn't know why. Silence stretched again, but this time it wasn't hostile. It was uncertain, curious. Seven's gaze softened, just barely. "You are not afraid," she said. Claire scoffed quietly. "I'm terrified. I'm just still standing." Seven watched her like that mattered. Like it changed something. From the distance came a sharp metallic screech. The unmistakable call of active machines scanning the sector. Claire's eyes widened. They're close. Seven's posture shifted instantly, warrior instincts snapping back into place. She stepped closer without thinking, positioning herself between Claire and the sound. Protective, Claire noticed. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. Seven didn't answer right away. Her systems raced. Old commands clashed with something new, something fragile and growing. "I do not know," she said finally, "but I do not want you harmed." The words landed heavier than gunfire. Claire hesitated, then made a choice she might regret forever. "Then come with me, or they'll finish what they started." Seven looked at her, at the human she was meant to kill, at the feeling she didn't have a name for. She powered down her weapon and followed. Above them, the machines continued their hunt, but somewhere in the ruins of a dying world, a weapon had remembered love, and it was only the beginning. They didn't stop running until the city fell away behind them. Concrete gave way to fractured highways, collapsed overpasses sinking into dunes of ash and blackened sand. The skyline, once a jagged crown of steel, became a distant silhouette, half-eaten by smoke and night. Above them, the sky was a deep, bruised blue, too quiet, too wide. Claire's lungs burned. She vaulted over a fallen barrier and nearly stumbled, catching herself just in time. Her boots skidded on loose gravel as she forced her legs to keep moving. Fear had a way of sharpening the body, but it always came with a price. Seven never slowed. She ran beside Claire with impossible precision, scanning constantly, head turning in sharp, economical movements. Eyes tracking shadows, sound, heat. Her torn jacket fluttered behind her like a banner of defiance, the faint glow of embedded panels pulsing softly with each stride. A searchlight cut through the darkness behind them. Claire swore, "They're still on us." Seven didn't look back. "Yes." A low mechanical hum vibrated through the ground, rising in pitch. Drones, multiple, fanning out. Claire ducked instinctively as a beam swept low over the ruins to their left, illuminating broken vehicles half buried in sand. The light lingered, probing. Seven grabbed Claire's wrist, not roughly, urgent, focused. "Down," she said. They dropped behind the rusted shell of a transport truck just as a beam skimmed over them. Claire's heart hammered so loudly she was sure the machines could hear it. She pulled her arm free the moment they were still. "You don't get to grab me like that," she hissed. Seven's head turned, slowly. "I prevented your death," she said. "You don't get points for that." Something flickered behind Seven's eyes. Conflict, sharp and unstable. Her jaw tightened as if she was straining more than words. "I'm trying," she said. The drones drifted on, their lights fading into the distance. For a moment there was only the wind. Claire pushed herself upright, brushing dust from her gloves. She studied Seven now, really looked at her. The machine's movement had been fluid, protective, instinctive. Not tactical, not calculated. Personal. "You could have left me," Claire said quietly. "Machines do that. Preserve resources. You're damaged." Seven didn't deny it. Instead, she turned her gaze outward, toward the open wasteland stretching before them, endless and broken. "I was not permitted to leave you," Claire frowned. "Permitted by who?" Seven's fingers curled slightly at her side. "I don't know." They moved again, this time slower, weaving through the ruins of what had once been an industrial district. The structures here were old, thick, concrete towers warped by heat, their insides hollowed out. Symbols were scorched into the walls, warnings from the humans long ago. As they passed beneath a collapsed archway, something moved. Claire raised her rifle instantly. The sound came again, a wet, dragging scrape. From the shadows emerged a shape that had once been human. It walked on elongated limbs, spine bent at an unnatural angle, skin stretched tight and pale of a warped bone. Its eyes reflected the starlight faintly, too many pupils swimming in each socket. Metal protruded from its back, fused with flesh, rusted and alive. A war spawn, one of many. Claire's breath caught. "Don't move," she whispered. The creature's head twitched. It sniffed the air, mouth opening to reveal rows of uneven teeth. Seven stepped forward. "No," Claire snapped. "Don't." The creature lunged. Seven moved, faster than thought. She intercepted it mid-leap, one arm slamming into its chest with a crack like thunder. The impact sent the thing sprawling into the ruins, limbs flailing. Before it could recover, Seven was on it. Precise, brutal, efficient. Too efficient. Claire watched in stunned silence as Seven crushed the creature's skull with one clean motion. There was no hesitation, no mercy. Just instinct. Seven straightened slowly, fragments of bone and dark fluid clinging to her knuckles. She stared down at what remained, chest rising, though she did not need to breathe. Then she froze. Her hand began to tremble. "No," she whispered. "No. Stand down." She staggered back, gripping her own wrist as if restraining herself. Claire lowered her rifle, uncertainty washing over her. "Seven?" Seven's glowing eye pulsed erratically. Her jaw clenched, teeth grinding. "I received a kill signal," she said. "Residual. Old code." Claire's stomach tightened. And I enjoyed it. The admission was quiet, terrifying. Silence stretched between them. "You could turn on me," Claire said. Seven looked at her then. Really looked. "Yes." Claire swallowed. "Why don't you?" Seven stepped closer, slowly, carefully. Her voice dropped. "Because when I see you, something interrupts the command." Claire's heart skipped. "What something?" Seven hesitated. Her hand rose, stopping inches from Claire's face before she pulled it back again, fingers curling tightly. "A memory," she said, "or the echo of one." Claire's voice was barely audible. "Of who?" Seven shook her head. "I don't know. She was Warm. She touched my face like this. Her fingers twitched in the air, uncertain, unfinished. And then the war came. They took her from me. Or they took me from her. Claire felt a chill settle deep in her chest. You were human, she said softly. Seven flinched. I was something else, she replied. Before. The ground vibrated, low, distant, and heavy. Seven's head snapped up. We must move. Larger units inbound. They climbed higher as the land rose into broken towers and skeletal high-rises, scaling collapsed stairwells and fractured floors. From the top of one ruined building, the world stretched out in every direction, smoldering plains, shattered cities, faint lights sweeping the darkness below. Machines hunted there. Claire crouched beside Seven, peering over the edge. This place is crawling. Yes. Then why come here? Seven's gaze was distant, focused on something only she could see. Because this is where I was reactivated. Claire turned sharply. What? Seven pointed. Below them, half buried in rubble, was a symbol burned into the concrete, a familiar mark. Claire's blood ran cold. She knew it. Human resistance. A hidden facility? Or what remained of one? Before Claire could speak, a sharp tone echoed through the night. Too close. Seven's eyes widened. Claire, if they capture me, a beam snapped on, bathing the rooftop in white light. You must run. Claire spun, rifle raised, as a massive silhouette emerged from the darkness below. Not a drone. Something worse. A hunter unit. Its eyes burned red as it locked onto Seven.
7 designation confirmed.
The machine intoned.
Return for integration.
Seven stepped forward, placing herself fully between the hunter and Claire. No! The hunter's gaze shifted to Claire.
Human detected. Terminate.
Seven's hand closed into a fist, and something inside her broke. The air around her seemed to change. Systems unlocking, power surging. Something ancient and forbidden rising to the surface. Claire stared as symbols flickered beneath Seven's skin. Lines of light tracing patterns she had never seen before. Seven? She whispered. Seven didn't look back. Her voice carried a weight that didn't belong to a machine. I remember now, she said. The hunter charged, and the night exploded into fire. Please join us next time for the next chapter. Before we part, I'd love to hear from you. If the story resonated, if there was a moment, a feeling, or a character that stayed with you, let me know in the comments. Tell me what you liked most, or what you're curious to see more of. If you want to go deeper into Claire and Seven's journey, tell me. Your voice helps guide where the stars lead next. If you have a story idea of your own you'd like to hear brought to life, leave it in the comments below. I read them all, and I'd be happy to write and narrate a story inspired by your idea. And if you enjoyed this journey, you can support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story when it arrives. Thank you for listening,